Hi and welcome to Nova Solutions video blog. I'm Bashar.
And I'm Shamil.
And we're here to talk to you today about a very common question we get all the time, which is, how long is it going to take for my website? So there are a few different considerations to make, and I would like to turn this to Shamil and say, what's your take on this?
Well, number one determining factor, quite frankly, is whether or not it's a website based on a theme or it's a custom design. A lot of web design companies would first like to draw your website out in Photoshop and have several takes on the client going back and forth and try to approve the design, select the color schemes, and so on. So if it's a custom website and it's built in two stages, right, one being Photoshop and then the back-end elements, Bashar, then it would definitely take slightly longer than a website that's based on a theme, which you modify.
Absolutely. The other thing that we get all the time is the size of the website has such a huge effect. Are we building a 10-page site or a 400-page site, right? Takes longer to write a bigger site. So that's a second consideration in the time frame for your website. Now, the third thing that comes up all the time is the content.
Yeah, content is also key. A lot of times, especially for new businesses, from our experience, somebody's excited to build a website. They think they have a logo, slogan, and they come. They tell me I want it like this and like that, and go ahead. But then there comes a point where we would require, selling points, contact information, a slogan, perhaps a few key points on internal pages. So whether or not you have that ready or not, for a web designer to take it and implement it in design is key. Another thing, different messages have different length. So, different visuals that you want to implement in your site, and they all impact the design. So without that content, it's very difficult for a graphic designer to kind of place it and play around with the content available if there is none. So lastly,
when we talk about the length of a site is the features that are on your site, is how complicated are the features that you want on your site. So for instance, if you are selling something on your website, that's e-commerce, we now have to tie that into merchant services, and there's a whole plethora of other things to consider when it talks about the complexity of the features of your site.
I'd like to kind of add to that, several levels of access, uploadable media or PDF files that the website, might have that feature in it. Sometimes there's synchronization using API with different databases, not only e-commerce, but perhaps some, for real estate agents, MLS listings, so on and so forth. All these things really take an impact. General estimate, a lot of companies say 6 to 8 weeks. I would take that as an average, and I would like to repeat that's if the client is relatively organized and has the content available and ready. And then we have completed the site before that in 2-3 weeks as well, but it really depends on case-by-case scenarios. Anyway, thank you for tuning in.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to this on YouTube.
Till next time, ciao.